Good evening and welcome to Neuwscl at 10:07. Our top story tonight focuses on the drastically changing terrestrial biomes and in particular takes us to the Kruger National Park in Namibia, where we have sent three of our best correspondents. We find out the very latest on how climate change is affecting the biome we treasure the most, the savannah. Over to you, Laura. Over to you, Laura. Laura, can you hear me?
Hello? Emily, can you hear me? Good evening. We're live here from the Kruger National Park in Namibia. This beautiful savanna is under threat due to a drastic increase in CO2 levels, causing the woody plant species and trees to invade and overpopulate the grassland. In the last 20,000 years, the atmospheric CO2 levels have doubled, and it's been predicted by some that these levels are likely to double again within the next century. Well, what effect does this have, I hear you ask? My friends, I'm here to tell you that the savanna biome is likely to be transformed into woodland or forest-like biomes. This effect is happening worldwide and across all the major biomes. However, it's having a particularly bad effect here in the Kruger National Park. About 64 million acres of Namibia has been invaded by these undesirable woody species, having an adverse effect on the wildlife and ecosystems. Anyway, that's all from me. Over to Diana, who'll have more for you.
In the year 2000, Makeley and William Bond, ecologists at the University of Cape Town, published a paper suggesting that the increase of carbon dioxide would favor these woody plants in the savanna. This is due to the fact that this increase will theoretically allow trees to build their carbon-intensive stems and roots longer, thicker and faster. Then the trees will be capable of outcompeting the grasses for water, nutrients and light, in turn dominating the environment. To test the theory of a colleague of theirs, Barney Cope carried out an experiment on tree growth under different carbon dioxide concentrations. In 2010, the results he published showed that some savanna trees grown in an atmosphere of 370 parts per million of carbon dioxide, a little lower of today's level of 400, grew more than twice as fast as the same species grown in the pre-industrial atmosphere of 280 parts per million of carbon dioxide. Not only did these trees grow faster, they also grew taller with bigger thorns, further protecting them from herbivores. The success of these trees, however, is having detrimental effects on many parts of the ecosystem. Now over to Dan, who brings the news on the local cheetah population.
Thank you, Diana. Well, it really has all been building up to this now. A 2012 survey of experimental plots in a South African savanna in the Kruger National Park showed that there's been a large increase in the amount of woody plants growing. The frequency of fires, rainfall, and herbivore pressure have remained constant in the areas studied. The National Park experiment gave data showing that tree density increased almost threefold between the 1970s and the 1990s in the Neuwscl site, a Neuwscl habitat being one with a well-balanced supply of moisture. The dominant species at the Neuwscl site, D. cinerea and T. sericea, showed significant increases in the abundance of all height classes, as shown in this graph. This type of woody vegetation appears to have an effect on the hunting strategy of the cheetah. The cheetah is known as the fastest land mammal on Earth. It can reach speeds of up to 70 miles an hour and uses its ability to catch its prey. A study of the frequency of cheetah kills in the southeastern region of the Kruger National Park showed that the frequency of kills in the open savanna, and therefore the success rate of the kills, was far greater than the frequency of kills within areas of acacia thickets. Fascinating data. Back to the studio.
Thank you to our correspondents in Namibia. Evidently, rising CO2 levels is having a critical effect on the fragility of the terrestrial biomes. That concludes our programme for today. Join us again tomorrow morning for Neuwscl at 10:07.